Hey everybody, welcome back to Next Play Records. Andy again, and I'm going to go through some of the records that I played and um, maybe a few new additions in there as well. This is all the stuff that I played last week. Let's start though first. Some of y'all may have seen a couple weeks ago where I went to the Braves game and they had an awesome promotion from one of the players, Spencer Strider, who's a um, huge vinyl collector and indie rock fan, and he had a couple local Atlanta bands produce 7-inch singles, and those were given out as promotions a few weeks ago. Last week, since we're showing records we got last week, I'm gonna show this music related item. The Braves had a ludicrous bobblehead night last week. Me and my son went and were able to get this. Pretty cool. It's got the old school Hank Aaron style Braves jersey on, iconic afro from one of his videos, getting pumped for the game. Ludicrous number 44. That's Hank Aaron's number from the Braves, but very nice little giveaway again. Braves bobblehead for Atlanta hip hop legend Ludacris. All right, first record I want to show from last week. Alan Jackson. This is the reissue that just came out a few months ago. Don't Rock the Jukebox. More of these 90s country awesome albums are coming out as finally on vinyl or reissues from the OG. I know there is an OG of this out there. I never picked it up, never found it for a good deal or found it in the wild. So I was happy when they reissued it. This is one of the best, I believe. I think Alan Jackson, if you're talking about all around, singer, songwriter, performer, that he's Georgia boy, so he's always been a huge representative of country music for me. I feel like George Strait's maybe the better artist overall, but because he writes songs and is a great entertainer and just an awesome dude, he's kind of the face of 90s country, I think. Alan Jackson. Don't Rock the Jukebox. You got Don't Rock the Jukebox, Dallas, awesome country song. Midnight Montgomery is on here. Don't Rock the Jukebox, Midnight Montgomery, Someday, Love's Got a Hold on You. Those are some of the best 90s country songs ever. This was a 1991 album for Alan Jackson. Always happy to listen to that one during the week. Next one, I have Jimmy Smith at the organ. This is late 50s session. This is a volume 1 and a volume 2. I actually have volume 2's cover. I have volume 1 and volume 2 vinyl in here because I found volume 1 on its own at a antique store one time with no cover. So I was able to just slip it in with here. So it's kind of like a 2 LP. Jimmy Smith at the organ. Some great sidemen on this. You got Lou Donaldson, Kenny Burrell, Art Blakey, Donald Bailey. On the volume 1, you have, let's see. And both of these, well, this vinyl, the volume 1 I have, or volume, sorry, I'm getting a little confused here. Oh, the volume 1 I have is an OG. Deep Groove, RBG on there. Yeah, same lineup for both sessions. This is the 1970 Liberty pressing for volume 2. So I listened to that last Sunday. Heavy organ jazz on Sunday just feels right, that gospel sound. Next I listened to, I really started getting into heavy funk and soul. This is one of the funk albums I own. I'm looking for other ones to add to my collection, but Maggot Brain. This kind of has like a rock feel to it. Not just your steady 70s funk, but some rock, some fuzz guitar, things like that, kind of psychedelic. Awesome album. I have a reissue on kind of a light peach vinyl from Funkadelic. So love spinning that. It got me searching through Funkadelic and Parliament's discography, as well as like Eddie Hazel, the guitar player, and just kind of seeing what I want to add in the coming months and years. So another one of the best 90s records ever. I mean, in the 90s, you got Neil Young, Harvest Moon, terrific songs on here. Just the harmonica, the acoustic guitar, his songwriting, the band that's with him. It's just simple, but just keeps you locked in. This is probably, if I was to go through my whole collection, this would probably make my top 20 albums. So good, so good. Obviously, you know, most of us know this is nothing new to anybody, but Unknown Legend, just a great song from Hank to Hendrix, Harvest Moon, Old King, Natural Beauty. And this reissue is just clean, sturdy jacket. You got the, on disc 2, you've got side 4 with the cool engraving. On my Instagram post, I didn't take a picture of this, so I'll show it here. Nice little engraving of the front cover picture. So very good listen last week. Another big one for me, going back to the Blue Notes here, Wayne Shorter, Speak No Evil. Got Freddie Hubbard, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, Elvin Jones. Like I said on my post, I could have gotten the new reissue or go get an older copy of this that's clean. Classic Vinyl Series just put this out. I bet it sounds unbelievable. But this DMM that I have from the 80s is the best sounding DMM I've ever heard. It could be because this might be a France pressing of it, and they were known to have been better sounding versions of the DMMs in the 80s for Blue Note. But one reason why I'll never get rid of this one is I bought this on eBay, and it has Herbie Hancock's signature in silver pen. It says DeJulia, Herbie Hancock, and I've compared that. That's not a stamp, and it can't be. You can see the indentation from the pen. Somebody would have to be really good to copy that, but I really believe that is an actual Herbie Hancock signature, and the person who was selling this didn't really think much of it. So appreciate Julia for getting that one day and it making its way to my collection. So Wayne Shorter, Speak No Evil with Herbie Hancock's signature, who is a big part of this session. Love it. Happy to listen to that last week. Oh, another for some of you jazz fans that maybe are afraid of free jazz, okay, this is a 1961 session, okay, The Shape of Jazz to Come by Ornette Coleman. I believe it's some of the first sessions where guys were being a little bit more aggressive with the free jazz sound and not afraid of what the industry thought. And perfect title, man, Shape of Jazz to Come, although the real influential free jazz was a few years later, but he was a big part of that. But this album is just so good. Every song has good melody, but also goes out there and kind of captivates you and makes you really listen to what he's trying to do. Awesome song. Awesome album. Don't be afraid of this, even if you feel like you don't like avant-garde or free jazz. This one is the one to get and kind of get a feel of it. Awesome album. This is a Rhino reissue that sounds as good as anything I have. It's very loud pressing, clean, beautiful. I believe 2013. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I should look that up if I'm gonna recommend it. But it's high quality. I mean, everything about it is like Bernie Grumman, I think, mastered it. So jump on the Rhino 2013 or 2016 pressing of this if you want to get it in your collection. Obviously, stream it. Make sure you like it first, but highly recommend that album for jazz lovers. Another one. This is one I actually came in the mail. I wanted on Whatnot for really cheap the week before. Got it in the mail early last week. Listened to it. It's very cool. It's got some out there tendencies like the Shape to Jazz to Come. Don Ellis, new ideas. It's kind of like him, you know, there's different percussion that you hear. Almost sounds like he's hitting tin cans and pans and things like that, and but it's not over the top avant-garde with that. It goes along good with the melody. Ron Carter is on here. Jackie Biard, which is always a great post-bop and free jazz pianist. Don Ellis is a trumpet, obviously. Al Francis on the vibraphone. So lots of good instruments. Great session. Stream it, see if you like it. So as you can see, when I listened to Shape of Jazz to Come last week, and that Don Ellis showed up, it led me to probably the best Blue Note album that has that free jazz and that avant-garde. Eric Dolphy, Out to Lunch. Eric Dolphy is the one guy, especially when he's on the bass clarinet, that I can listen to no matter what he's doing. You know, a lot of saxophone, free jazz, like Coltrane's free jazz. I can't stand it. Eric Dolphy on the alto sax or on the bass clarinet, like I said, or the oboe of some sort. I love it. Sounds like a robot. I always say that. But this lineup on here, Freddie Hubbard, Bobby Hutcherson, Richard Davis, Anthony Williams, it's a classic, legendary session. And anytime I listen to something that's out there, it makes me want to go back to this. Awesome stuff. And more country. I listened to Willie Nelson's Phases and Stages. I had an old OG of this that was kind of beat up that I sold because this came out on Record Store Day. So I got the Record Store Day version that has, let's show that. I got the Record Store Day version that had the extra session, or I'm sorry, outtakes, I guess it's called. Alternate versions of most of the songs are on the second disc. Now, Gatefold, nice little write-up about the session. I really love this. It's a, concept album of marriage, relationship, divorce, leaving, coming back, doing work around the house. Great stuff. I mean, it's one of Willie Nelson's best projects. I wouldn't say it's the best songs of his, but it's one of his best projects for sure. Early 70s, Willie Nelson, Phases and Stages. Another one I listened to, be right back. Me and my daughter rocked out to this. She's a big grunge and hard rock lover nowadays. She's a freshman in high school and plays in the band, so she likes the hard, punchy stuff. So we listened to Metallica Black. I know this is probably their easiest album, but it's really the only one that I'm really tied to. I really love every song on here. But it's got that hard rock, that slight metal to it. And, it came out when I was a teenager and learning more about different genres. Metallica. It's hard to see this, but the back looks cool. Obviously, no reason to read these songs. Everybody knows these. I'd say probably my favorite, Sabbath, True, Unforgiven, if I had to pick two. So that's what I listened to. That's what I spun last week. Hopefully y'all are inspired to go dig through your collection, listen to your vinyl. I know I heard somebody on a YouTube live stream today talking about how they don't have time to listen. So find time to listen to your collection. Don't leave it sealed. Unless it's something you're really getting to kind of as a collector piece and you've got other versions of it. But buy it, open it, listen to it. Until next time, keep spinning that next play.